drunk when I wake up, on the right side of the wrong bed, and never an excuse I made up to tell you the truth. I hate what didn't kill me, it never made me stronger at all.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. I am loving the X Factor this year. You enjoying the X Factor? Yeah. Here's my favourite, Rylan. Of course, it's got to be Rylan. There you go. Whereas I like to think of him, Cry Hard with a Vengeance. There was controversy last week, of course, with rumours of vote rigging. Did you see that picture of the producer talking to Louis Walsh? Yeah. There you go, very suspicious, but no. Wasn't actually suspicious. Louis Walsh just got confused. He thought the producer whispered Rylan in his ear, but the producer was pointing at Louis' hair and saying, Nylon, we think it's nylon. To be honest, they're going to have to keep Rylan anyway, because no one's going to want to deal with that if he's voted off. Can you imagine? It took him 3 days to recover when he ran out of bronzer. And if you think Rylan's annoying, just thank your lucky stars he doesn't have a twin, because imagine if there were two of them, Redwood. Imagine that. Ladies, would you like to see an Australian hunk lying out in all his glory for her? OK, I warn you, he's hot stuff and he knows it. Here he is. I promise we haven't enhanced that photo. We didn't change him. That is how that kangaroo chooses to lie around. He knows he's got it going on, doesn't he? Look at that. OK? That is one cool kangaroo. Either that or Shane Warne has finally had too much work done. OK, we do have a packed show, as always, but I'm thrilled with our musical guest. He's not just going to perform live, he's going to chat to us as well. It's Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe I'll get drunk again. I'll be drunk again. I'll be drunk again. Feel a little love.
That's a talented young man right there. Thank you, Ed. Gonna have some fun later on. Let's see who else is on the show tonight. My first guest is an author, he's a comedian, he's an actor, and he is one of the best-known and best-loved fundraisers in the country. It's David Walliams. David, look how smiley you are.
Oh, thank you.
David, contrary to what you might expect, is married to a genuine supermodel, the beautiful Lara. That's a lovely thing. I'm thrilled for you, and it's a lovely union then. It means, of course, they have to have a massive walk-in wardrobe at home, so there's room for all the suits belonging to David and all the dresses belonging to David. David Walliams, ladies and gentlemen, he's on the show. I'm thrilled he's here, the lovely David Walliams. OK, my next guest, bizarrely, is fresh from this week's Tory party conference. OK, you might think that's a little out of character for us, but you will understand when I tell you it is the fabulous Charlotte Church. So, Charlotte, you were out there, you were talking at the conference.
Yes.
This is because you were up before the Leverson inquiry earlier this year, or the year before, wasn't it?
Yes, basically. I was there on behalf of Hacked Off and kind of everybody it represents, which was fun. It was such fun.
Oh, so Hacked Off is part of that? I thought Hacked Off was something to do with Boris Johnson's hair.
No.
I didn't realise...
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charlotte Church will be out here chatting a bit later on. My next guest is the Duchess of Dagenham, the Empress of Essex, the Lady of Loughton, the Princess of Plaistow, the Baroness of Billericay. It is Stacey Solomon. Actually, Stacey, it's lovely to see you. I should have checked earlier. You are... I gave you that big roll call there, but you are actually from Essex, aren't you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Your accent is, your way of speaking is so distinct, isn't it?
So lovely, isn't it?
Oh, I like it. Have you
Charming.
Do you ever disguise it if you phone someone up? I imagine if you phoned a call centre or someone, they would know immediately it was you. All
the time. Sometimes I ring up, like, Topshop or somewhere, and I'm like, oh, have you got this jumper? And they go, is that Stace? Scary.
Stacey Solomon, ladies and gentlemen. Shut your eyes, it couldn't be anyone else. Before we get the guests out, let me just tell you a story. I love this story. I saw it in the papers the other night. A pair of elderly gardeners gained the attention of the police this week because a big bush that they had bought at a car boot sale and taken home, an exotic plant, and tended lovingly over the years in their back garden, turned out to be a cannabis plant. OK? According to... much like that one right there. OK? It was a huge cannabis plant, the biggest that Bedford police had ever seen, they said. They couldn't believe how big it was. They even called a gardening expert to check it out. And his verdict... awesome weed. Look at that, he looks off his tits there, doesn't he? But that could happen to anyone. It was an innocent mistake. These old folks, they didn't know it was a cannabis plant. You wouldn't know a cannabis plant if you saw one, would you, Ed?
No.
Could happen to anyone. You go to a garden centre, you come back with something you don't know what it is. For example, I bought this lovely vase the other day. It was only when I got it home that I realised that it had been used by other people. And this delightful, I've got this lovely, I've got this incense burner here. Okay, quite innocent. They sold me this incense to go with it. I tell you what... Oh, Ed's interested in that.
My gran's watching this, man.
Is she? Can she roll one that big?